I was like, yes, actually, please, thank you. And I ziplined over to him. He was just like, I was like, that's exactly what I needed. He was just like, well, you know, like, he was like, see, I do it all the time. I tell you what I'm doing. And I was like, no, you said it sarcastically to be like, oh, hey, you need me to come over? Or like, you want to know what I'm doing? Here's what I'm doing. Like, I was like, you said it sarcastically.
Yeah.
Don't say that you said it to be like, hey, like, I'm running away. I was like, you said, I'm running away if you want to know.
Yeah,
and I was like,
the matters to you.
Yeah. Tell me that you always tell me. Because I was like, we played with Taylor the other day, and I was right next to Taylor the entire game. Eli was off, just doing his own thing. We play Call of Duty, Eli's off. He's like, you need to look at your minimap more. And I'm like, he's like, you always say that to me. And I'm like, yes, I tell you to look at your minimap when you're like, where are you guys? I'm fighting people. I'm like, look at your minimap. I'm next to Taylor. We're on the other side of the map. I was like, the only time I would tell you to look at your minimap is when you go off on your own and you're like, where are you guys?
Yeah.
I'm like, you think that me and Taylor just follow you? Like, no, I see where everyone's going and loot. I don't just loot by myself in a whole different city. And then when I get attacked and ambushed by 3 guys, like, where are you? What the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm like, no. Like, and that's what I'm saying. I'm like, oh my god. It's so crazy that it happens on a daily basis.
Yeah, it's weird that you guys like arguing so much.
That's the thing is, I'm stubborn enough to not give in to an argument when I know I'm right. Eli wants to start an argument.
Yeah. And he knows he's wrong. And he refuses to go
wants to
back.
defend himself, and I know that I'm right, and so we just go back and forth. And that's where he like makes the story. He's like, no, you said this, and I'm like, no, that's what you think, or that's what you're saying. I said to try to make yourself sound a little better.
Yeah.
You took me saying, all right, or when you took me saying, where are you, as like a, dude, you're such a bad fucking player. You need to tell me where you're going. I was like, no, I just asked, where are you, because you didn't tell me. And he was like, it's just that whole, he gets defensive. I'm just like, you're getting defensive over something that I didn't mean to call you out on. Like, if I said it as an asshole, like, sorry, but you left me. So, yeah, I'm gonna be like, why didn't you tell me where you were going? I'll just ask a simple question like that, and he'll be like, why would I have to? And I'm like, here it goes.
You, yeah, I don't know, dude. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, dude. It's a daily occurrence for you guys. Yeah. Alright, see you, broski. Okay guys, very cool. So sorry about the little bit of a late start here. Let me see if I can cancel this. Okay, it looked like it was trying to generate lighting, but it's now not. Let me actually make sure that my camera's correct. Cool, it is. Alright, let me take my jacket off. So today we're going to be doing the swinging, which should be pretty exciting because it'll bring it all together. We have jumping, we have climbing, rock sliding, all of that stuff, but we do not yet have swinging. So hopefully, as just judging from how things have gone previously, I don't think we're gonna get it done today. We'll probably just refactor some code. Ah, dang it, I just realized my water is empty. So let me fill that up. It should take about 20 seconds, and then I'll be right back. Okay, very cool. And let me pull up the stream as well.
Download the Domino's app today.
That's not what I clicked. Okay, very cool. Sorry about that. It took a little bit of a longer setup, but it looks like it took about 2 minutes. Okay, so we need to basically just grab the... We need to basically just grab the script from the last time I did it and put it on here and see if we can get it to work. I did run into a problem where the rock wall, it turns out, is not performant enough on the Quest. I put it on the Quest and basically it was about 60 frames a second, so it's not terrible, but you need to hit 72. And that, I think, could have been foreseen pretty easily. We were doing triplanar mapping with both the albedo and the normal. So I think for now what we'll probably do is just do the triplanar mapping on the base color and not on the albedo and not on the normal. So at least we'll have the texture, and then we'll see how that does. But I'll do more of the performance testing on my own time. For right now, we're running it on a Rift, and that will obviously be able to run it, so that's cool. And for those of you who did not see, yesterday we did a lot of audio polish. It was really cool. So basically now we have this wind that picks up when you're high up. We have the ambient rain sound. I added this, don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can. But basically it says my player state so that I can see at any given point if it messes up. And then the last thing that happens is when you pick up speed, you start getting wind in your ear and it increases in pitch as you fall, so it's pretty cool. So that's all pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with it. You can see the states are working. Grabbing wall. It says that I'm climbing. If I throw off, I'm free falling. And then I'm standing. So that's good. That you need that to be accurate so that you can do some of the more important stuff. Because you can only do certain actions at certain times. And if it ends up being that we can't do triplanar, I'm not really sure what we'll do, but I guess just some form of texture. We just need some texture on the wall, that way you can see when your hand is getting closer to it. I don't even know if the shadow is necessary, honestly. I think it's mainly just the fact that when I move my hand in front of it, I can see where it is relative to it, because of that parallaxing effect. So we might even be able to get rid of shadows if that's not performant enough. Very cool. Let's see here. So I suppose my swing script got pretty crazy in the last one. I started trying to do basically some crazy stuff where it would like shoot out silk, but it would break it up into little links. That way it was more of a rope. But I was having a lot of trouble with that. And I got a package called Obi Rope to fix that this time around. But the problem is I just don't think that's gonna run. I just don't see that running well on the Quest and Quest 2. So I think we're just gonna divert to just a single link that you can swing on, which should still be pretty fun. And let's see. And then I had the pulling, so silk pulling, where basically if you hit something, you could pull yourself along it. So maybe we'll just see if we can get those things set up. And I don't know if I have those scripts in here already. Web pull, web swing. Is there anything else I need to be on the lookout for? Global variable is such a bad script. Such a bad script idea. Because if you have multiple people working on it, they're going to default to putting it in there. And it's going to basically ruin everything. Okay, so let's take a look at web swing, I suppose. Web poll. Actually, I'd rather look at web poll real quick. Okay, so it had a reference to web swing. And then web to hand, it was a vector, hand velocity. And then you'd basically just run, and the lead node is not null. I think the lead node was set to not null when it attached to something. And then I basically just did a dot product of the web lead node to the hand and then the hand velocity. And I basically just wanted to make sure that that was within some cone. So if you don't know, a dot product will basically tell you if you have two vectors, if they're perpendicular to each other, it'll be 0. So you dot product this vector to this vector. It'll be 0, this will be 1, and this will be -1. So I think what I did was I had probably a line to the web, or to the attach point, and then as you were pulling away, I probably checked that that was within some threshold, probably like -0.8, for a certain duration of time, and if it was, then you could pull. So that's pretty cool. And let's see. For right now, we won't worry about that. So I got a text message that seems kind of important. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and look at web swing. I imagine I'm not gonna like how this class is written, just in general. Look how long it is, oh my goodness. All right, well, let's look through it. Handles the player's ability to swing from silk. We can go ahead and name this silk swing. We can go ahead and rename this silk swing. We could probably rename this silk pull as well. Okay, cool. So this is very unorganized. So basically you're checking if you press grip, that makes sense. Shoot, webbing. Shoot silk. It's weird that it didn't rename it there. That's okay. Release silk. I imagine I'll be able to use async to make a lot of this a lot nicer. Set can shoot, release. Okay, very cool. So then from here, I guess let's just start fixing these up. So imagine this goes on each hand. And we'll just start our new thing. Hand type. Very cool. And hey to whoever just joined. I'm currently working on a game called the Silkworm. It is a spider-like, and essentially right now I'm working on the silk swinging. So we have jumping, we have climbing, jumping off the walls, stuff like that. But what we need now is the ability to shoot silk and swing from it. So if you haven't been here before, welcome. And if you're coming back, welcome back. But right now I'm just refactoring this script, Silk Swing, which basically I had written previously. I imagine I wrote it poorly because I had written it a few years ago. But right now we're just subscribing to some buttons. That way we know when to shoot the silk. So hand type. So we need to know the hand type, whether it's left or right. And then we'll probably want to grab a hand as well. Hand. Cool. And this will be, we'll give it a header and just call it needed objects. I'm basically rewriting this whole script. Hey, Nekmanet, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Nekmanet maybe. Welcome. I don't know that I've seen you here before, so I'm glad that you showed up and are ready to learn some VR. If you have any questions, let me know. Actually, since I haven't seen you here before, let me just show you what I have. Let me get rid of this so that there's no errors. Okay, web tip, we'll get rid of that as well. None of these things I'm using. So yesterday was a really cool day, actually. It was a lot of audio polish. Basically, we put in sounds for when you go really high up. So you hear that there's that high wind. That only plays when you're higher up in the city. And then you see you have kind of silkwormy hands with the dots running along the side. But let's see, so you can fall. And you can do this rock slide. And then you can jump off. And the wind in your ears will pick up. And then here's some climbing. And I'm just displaying the state. That way I can see it while I'm developing, just to make sure it's working. You see that the climbing works. And you can actually throw yourself up the wall too, so that you can climb faster. And then snap turning, obviously, running, obviously. And I don't think jumping is working right now. Oh, okay, it is. And you swing your arms to jump, so that's fun too. Yeah, so we have a lot in here. So we're just, at this point, trying to get in this swinging. So it's going to be a lot of programming. Currently, hopefully you're into that sort of thing. Do you have any questions about what I'm making or what the deal is? Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, I think and it's going to be free. I mean, this is just a free game I'm putting out at the end of March, so we have another 20 days to finish it. And we're making good progress, I think. But yeah, it'll be free, so if you have a Quest or a Quest 2, you'll be able to play it, so it should be good, and you can let me know how it is. Do you do VR development yourself, or are you just looking into it? Okay, Silk Swing, back to this. Let's uncomment this. You do not. Okay, very cool. Is it something that you're interested in, or are you just more of a gamer yourself? Okay, very cool. So I just need to, I'm getting some errors here. It's basically this doesn't exist anymore. So I'm just going to do what I was trying to do, More of a gamer. Okay, very cool. What kind of games do you play? So now it's called XR input. And I think I can do... What I'm going to need to do is check what type of hand it is first. I've been playing a lot of... I don't know if know Tony, but he told me of you. Yeah, of course I know Tony. He's one of my moderators. Welcome to the channel. You're Tony's friend? Well, that makes you a friend of mine as well then. I'm glad you're here. That's cool. So let's see here. Basically, we will need to check the hand type. Well, okay, so first we're going to say hand type equals hand dot hand type. Yeah. Tony's been a good friend to me since we started playing Fortnite together. He takes care. He's my YouTube manager, so he takes care of me. Let's see, and then we'll basically want to say if hand type. Actually, I think we can probably just get this from climb, which was another script we were writing. But basically, here's some coding for you, Nick Monet. You can do, so this code will run in a line. It's going to run this one, then this one, then this one, then this one. It runs straight down. That's how code works. And essentially, you can skip some of those lines with if statements, which basically say, like, if this is true, do this. If it's not true, then don't do it, which I think makes conceptual sense. So here I'm saying if the hand type is the right hand, go ahead, and I need to get rid of this because this was from climb, but go ahead and do grip. What would it be? Grip, right grip, right grip pressed, right grip pressed. Yeah, right grip button pressed. And then I'm just saying, okay, if you press the right grip button, go ahead and shoot the web, or shoot the silk, I should say. Otherwise, do the left grip button pressed. That's basically just so that both hands work. Are you a Fortnite player as well? And then we need to do the same, but for releasing. So that's going to be similar. It's going to be XR controller input dot right grip button released. And we'll put that on each of them. We'll copy it. Change this to left. Okay, are you on a team with him, or do you just play with him casually? I know he has, I think he's playing trios now, so he's got 2 teammates. I don't know if, I know one of them was named like Aiden. Oh, that was his real name. What was his? Arrow maybe? Okay, and then we also have set can shoot, which I'm probably going to end up getting rid of because that sounds like a bad function. Tony has changed a lot. Oh no, what happened? People change. Hard life. Alright, so Tony changed. I mean, if before you can say whatever you'd like, but before you do, just know that Tony may come across this in the chat. If he goes and looks at a previous video, I don't know if he does that or not. You think he's being selfish recently? What did he do? Is it just because he's going too hard on Fortnite? Really? It's because of Era. What happened with Era? Okay. Left grip released. Give me 1 second and I'll read that message. Let me just paste this down here and change this to left. He's brainwashing him to think he will do better with him and trying to leave me for no reason. I'm a chill guy, so I thought is what's your like Fortnite tag? Because I know he was having some trouble with a friend of his where he, I guess, was making him feel bad, and then of course felt bad about it, but didn't know what to do. I know he'd come to me with advice on that. But you think he's brainwashing him? You don't think it's true that he'll do better with him? Okay, and then jump player jumped, release from silk. Release web if you jump while soaking. Okay. So I don't quite know what to do about that currently. Jump player jumped. Okay, I know Snap. I don't know that I've talked to Snap, but I certainly have heard of Snap. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't know what to say about that necessarily. That game is extremely hardcore. Like it's like, I mean, if you guys aren't gonna be the generation most suited to just extremely hardcore friendships and rejection, I don't. It's like gym class. It's like the new generation of gym class where, essentially, like I don't know, and the kid who was picked last in gym class and you feel bad about it, and it's kind of like that with Fortnite now. I think it's pretty. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you guys are supposed to do about it. It's extremely hardcore. I will say that I know Tony is very serious about the game. I don't know if Era is brainwashing him. I'd have to maybe talk to them about that. But yeah, I think he'll just do whatever he thinks he needs to improve. But that's a bummer if it's true that he's brainwashing him. That's certainly not good. Okay, let me see if there's player jumped. Jump movement player jumped. Yeah, sorry, man. I don't really know what to tell you about that. That's rough. But I will say that I don't personally believe that Tony has changed. I believe that he's made some tough decisions around his Fortnite. Perhaps they're the wrong decisions. Maybe they're the right decisions. I don't know. But I know that anything he's doing, he's probably doing to try to be the best at Fortnite, which is his current goal. And I feel for him in that way. And that certainly there have been times in my life where I had to make somebody feel bad for a goal that I was trying to achieve. And it's never what you want to do. It's not like Tony's like, yeah, just let me make Nick Minaj feel bad. But yeah, that's rough. Okay, cool. So let's move. Okay, so that's on enable and on disable. We're basically just subscribed correctly now. And then in start, we get a list of the web nodes, get the climb script. Web container. Web container equals new game object. And then a line renderer. I'm sure I had good reason for all this. It's looking fairly complicated. Okay, and then, so I basically have shooting, releasing, do I actually have a hand state for swinging? Yeah. Swinging shooting web, okay. Okay, I no longer am gonna want to do this. So that's just bad. Other classes shouldn't be able to make you release the web. All right, give me 20 seconds here. I need to fix something real quick. Okay, very cool, and we're back. Okay, so then there's this releasing. Release webbing, but don't let them shoot another until they've released their hand. Yeah, all of this just seems a little... And hey to whoever just joined, we are currently refactoring a script that allows you to shoot a silk strand and swing from it. So hopefully that is easy. I don't know if you've been here before or not, but we're making a game called the Silkworm. Okay. Oh man, that's so cool. I totally forgot about this. I super want to do this again. Yeah, Tony, I know. I mean, it seems like he's hurting, so I'd be gentle with him, but let players slide down sick if their button is not fully pressed. You guys are, I mean, you guys are hardcore with each other in this whole Fortnite thing. It's a hard life you guys live. Am I using this anywhere? No. Wait for WebTip to tell Swing it latched. This whole thing, I don't want him. All right, Tony. All right. Well, you. Why don't you want him on the stream? It's fine if he wants to come here and vent. Okay, I'm gonna have to really. Okay, and then we'll basically say we'll allow people to tell if it's latched. And here we'll do web latched dot invoke. This is so bad. And thank you about the 100K. Yeah. I guess I need a few more of those if I want to get up to like thousands of followers. I was just happy to break the 100 follower mark. That way people don't see my account and think like, oh, this guy's a loser. They think like maybe he's kind of up and coming or something. You know what I'm saying? Because under 100 and you don't look very good. And congrats. I'm sure he's welcome here, Tony. He can hang out here. Do you just mean he's not welcome because he's talking shit, essentially? Hey, Tony, don't delete his messages. Come on. All right. Set swinging. I'm like a little dynamite. Okay, so I'm gonna shoot this object. That's okay, Tony. I get it. You guys are having trouble. Silkworm is going pretty well actually. Check it out. So I got in some audio effects. Got in some audio effects. You can still do this rock slide, and it has these little particle effects. Oh. Climbing is nice. I think you've seen climbing, but oh. Yeah, but it's pretty good. So I just need to get into swinging. I just need to get into swinging now, which is what I'm trying to do here. So let me get rid of that. I think this is gonna be a lot of just kind of ripping stuff out. I just don't. Yeah, okay, let me see. Titan web. This maybe is the least optimized thing there has ever been. And hey to whoever just joined, we're making a game called the Silkworm, and currently we're getting in silk slinging, so you'll be able to shoot it and then swing from it. Currently we have climbing, we have jumping, running, stuff like that, so it should be pretty good. I don't know if you've been here before, but Tony is in here as well, so let's see. Okay, I'm thinking we'll just kind of remove this. There will be no web tightening really. I'm gonna have to pretty thoroughly understand this script before I can redo it, I think. Joint setup helper. Okay, I'm glad I have that at least. Okay, cool. So it's really just, if we take a look at the methods in here, it's really just shooting it, releasing it, but from a jump. Set the web length, which we won't currently do, but I do want to do it. That would basically allow you to, man, actually I really want to do it. That would basically allow you to release the grip button a little bit and slide, as if you, so you can kind of like shoot it and then release to be lowered down, which I think would be really cool. It's kind of extremely necessary, I feel like, for me to be happy with this game. Okay, shoot it, release it from jump, latched, set up joints. What happens in update? And there's only going to be one web node now, so the way I was doing it before, I had a bunch of nodes connected by line renderers so that it could be kind of a movie silk strand, but I don't think I'm going to do that now since we're on Quest, and I don't think it could handle it, the computation required. And if you have any questions about that, let me know. Okay, and this is basically just drawing the web. Yeah, and I was using a spline builder, essentially. Which was pretty cool, because it basically made the web look good. Hey, it's Coochie Man. I don't know that I've had the pleasure of meeting you before, but welcome. Welcome to the stream. Have you been here before, Coochie? I don't... Or I guess I'll call you Man. Or I'll call you C-Man. How about that? Have you been here before, C-Man? Let me show you what I got real quick. So we're making this Silkworm. It's essentially a spider-like where you... But in VR, where essentially... You kind of travel around... Oh, it's Arrow. What's up? Yeah, what's it... Okay, very cool. Yeah, what's up, man? Yeah, I'll show you what I have real quick. I'm basically trying to get in web shooting now, so that you can swing. Right now, you're kind of a superhero who's like Spider-Man, except you can't swing. So you see, we have the city in here, and you have your hands. And if you're going too fast when you grab the wall, you'll slide. So I think that's pretty cool. But then you can also climb. You can climb up things. Ah! But also importantly, you can jump, and there's some audio effects. Let me see. But yeah. And you can also jump using your hands. I should be able to grab this wall here. Ah! Nope. Not quite close enough. So that's what we have. So obviously we still need... So obviously we need the swinging, or it's not really a spider-like, is it? It's more like a, I guess, some sort of acrobat-like. Yeah, it should be good. Do you have a VR headset, perchance? Like a Quest 1 or a Quest 2? Yeah, but we're trying to get in the webbing right now. I don't know if you have any interest in programming or anything like that, but if you have any questions about it, you can certainly let me know. Oh, you do have... Oh, wait, sorry. Yes for the headset, or yes for the... Or yes for the interest in programming? Oh, heck yeah. Is it the Quest or the Quest 2? Or is it like a Rift or a Vive or something? Let's just get rid of... Well... Oh, okay. So you have the PlayStation VR. That is a good headset. Unfortunately, it's not a headset that you'll be able to play this game on. But that is a cool headset. Do you have a favorite game for it? Do you have Beat Saber or something? Okay, well, actually, let me leave it for now. And let me just move it. Because when you're refactoring code, I'm basically looking at this code now and trying to rewrite it in a way that I find to be better. Because I wrote this a long time ago before I knew a lot of the things I know now. So looking at it is kind of stressing me out. And it's gonna make a lot more bugs. I play Job Simulator sometimes with my brothers. Yeah, Job Simulator, I've played the first couple minutes of it. It was like, I mean, that game came out back in like 2015. Like, it was one of the first games. This is one of the first games to come out on VR, so that's pretty cool. And it did pretty well. Okay, let's take a look at... Can shoot equals false, okay. shooting web, lead node, can shoot. I'm just wondering what I was thinking while I was coding this. How long do you think you're going to take to finish the game completely? So I'm making a game a month. So I've already created a game for February, and now I'm creating this game for March. The game for February was called Awesome AP Orb. It was basically a super monkey ball-like where you were in VR, so you were controlling the ball and going through all these platformer levels, kind of like Mario or something like that. And that was pretty cool. So I'll have this done in like 20 days. I mean, it's going to be a simple game, but yeah, like 20 days or so. Let's see. And it should be pretty good. I mean, it's already pretty fun, so. Jeez, this is stressing me out trying to fix this code because I guess I don't really understand it. I guess that would be the first step, is understanding it. So let's take a look at it. I'm basically saying, is your hand idle or are you shooting a web? If there's no lead node attached, which is just a Boolean. If there's no lead node attached, do this. Otherwise, is there an otherwise? Nope, it's basically just, okay, so if you're not shooting web, then clear the web nodes. Shooting web is now true. Set the hand state, which we'll get rid of. And stop the coroutines Titan web, which we're not using anymore. So basically, if you're not shooting the web, go ahead and set it to true. Thank you for this. Is it supposed to be Gucci Man? I guess, is it a play on Gucci Man? I guess that makes sense. Such a hardcore name, Mara. Alright, if it does exist, keep shooting. Alright, in my head, what would happen here? It can shoot out a lead, subscribe to subscribe some function to it. Maybe we'll just do this instead. Maybe we'll just pretty much write it again. Okay, this seems pretty good. You know what I'm realizing? I guess if you shoot it... I definitely see why I was doing tightening and stuff like that. Because if you shoot it and you're just drawing a line... If you shoot it and you're just drawing a line... If you shoot it and you're just drawing a line, it's just not going to look very good, I don't think. Sorry guys, I'm moving slow here. It's just a lot of this is confusing me. Just trying to think how this would work here. But I suppose let's just do it the simple way first. Just because I don't really trust any... I don't know. Let me just read through it. Just keep shooting, lead node. I see. So this is basically handling all the nodes that I was shooting out as you were holding. It must have been that this was firing every time you had it held, every frame you had it held down, and it must have been firing these nodes, and then yeah, it's all just too much. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll just end up doing this exact same thing again. I see. So it initially shot this lead node, which was the one that was going to attach to a wall, and then the rest of it was just adding on extra nodes behind it. It's not terrible. Okay, we don't need any of that. That'll be handled somewhere else. Add lead node to it. And then you grab it, grab the lead node and do some dependency injection. Okay, so that's not too crazy. You're basically just creating a node and then shooting it off and telling it what it can hit. So that's cool. And then releasing. And this one confuses me because it makes it seem like you were able to jump while your hand was. I would think that you wouldn't be able to jump if your hands are both shooting webs. I don't think that you should be able to. Maybe, I mean, you shoot two, you're swinging, you throw your arms back and forward. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think you would only be able to jump if your hand was free. Okay, very cool. So basically, let's just get started here. All right, so basically, if their hand is idle or shooting web, I don't think it would be or shooting web. Basically, just if their hand is idle. If correct state, shoot web tip, which will basically just be all this down here. We'll just go ahead and hit a return here. Rope length is 0, don't care about that. Destroy web container, game object. Get rid of the old web, sure, fair enough. Web container, game object. Yeah, okay. Web, and we'll add in hand dots. What's wrong with this? Oh, I see. Okay, so create a new object that we're going to put our web stuff under. Lead node equals instantiate. Web node.gameObject. Don't know why I'd be adding lead node to it. Don't need to do that. Get the rigid body, set all that stuff. I don't need to do that either. Hand velocity. Equals the local velocity. Okay, so I do need equals lead node dot get. Okay, so I need to get its rigid body. And then basically I'm gonna shoot it out first at a speed, because if you're swinging through the air, if you're flying through the air and you shoot it, first of all, its velocity when it comes out of your hand is going to be whatever your player velocity is plus the hand velocity. Just because, like, if you were carrying a tennis ball and you were going on a roller coaster and you dropped it, it for a second there would have the velocity that you had as you were traveling down that roller coaster. It wouldn't have a velocity of 0. So I need to add that, and then it looks like I then just add, based on the forward direction, at a web shoot speed. So that's fair enough. And for this, we'll do player spy.rb.velocity, hand velocity. I don't want the velocity local, I want the velocity world. And I don't know why I don't really need to cache this. I can just put it right there. Okay, and then once it's got the velocity, and velocity is just a speed in a direction, so if someone is going 50 miles an hour to the right, then their velocity is gonna be 50, 0, 0. The 0 and the 0 being the speed in the y direction and the speed in the z direction, but you're only traveling in the x direction. That's not a good way to explain that, but if you guys have questions about that, let me know. Actually, I explained velocity to Tony not too long ago, so maybe he can explain it. Okay, and then it's just transform forward. I don't actually know that it's going to be transform forward. I think that it... Let me go take a look at it. So it's going to be put on the hand. Okay, let me just grab all this and comment it out so that I can check this real quick. Okay, so you have your right hand there. Let me take a look at it. Okay, it is forward. Forward is denoted by this blue thing here. So if the hand is... Oop. Oh, it jumped. So if the hand is turned up, it'll shoot up. If they turn this way, it'll shoot that way. Simple enough. Just wanted to make sure it was, in fact, forward that I needed. Save that, go back, okay. Times common variables, web shoot speed. Okay, so we're going to make a... First of all, this needs to be public so that I can set it. Public. Web params. Okay, and hey to whoever just joined. You will be joined by C-Man and Tony, and so we all welcome you here. We're making a game called... Sorry, I'm used to saying awesome AP Org. We're making a game called the Silkworm. It is a spider-like, and essentially right now we're getting into swinging, so shooting of silk and then swinging along that. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. And if you haven't been here before, feel free to introduce yourself. Everybody's very friendly. Okay, so currently I'm making a scriptable object, which is essentially something that allows me to serialize a bunch of values and then pass it to other objects. And when I say serialize, it's basically just something that I can save. So like a bunch of like numbers that I can save and then retrieve between play sessions and stuff like that. So let's go and do that real quick. What did I call it? Web shoot params SO. So let's just go ahead and copy that. Scripts, scriptable objects. We'll make a new script. We'll call it that. And then we'll go into climb params. Copy all of that since it's going to look very similar. Holds the parameters for silk shooting script. Web shooting params. Oop, not what I meant to do. Okay, cool. And that's how you create a scriptable object. Hey Thought, glad you're here. Yeah, we're getting in this refactoring my code for this web shooting is a real pain, but it's not a pain, it's very confusing is what it is. But we're slowly but surely making our way through here. And if you haven't met Tony, C-Man is new. His name's Era, or at least that's his Fortnite name. But if you haven't met them, they are here as well, and they're both good guys. Okay. So let's go back to, and I'm just making a scriptable object, same as I normally do. We'll take all these instances of common variables. We'll instead give it web params. Web shoot speed, make a variable on there for it. Although of course it's gonna mess that up. And this needs to be a float. Tony, why'd you say okay? Okay, what? Okay, so basically we're just creating that lead node and then we are shooting it. Previous node equals lead node. I don't think I'm going to worry about that. Web nodes.add. I guess we can leave that for now. Last node shot time equals time. Let's get rid of that as well. I don't think that matters, and I don't think this matters. The only reason I'm leaving this is because I believe I'm using it to draw the lines. Draw the lines. Okay, then very cool. And then I think that I'll probably retrofit that. Probably retrofit lead node to basically have a event on it. Public action on latch, which basically will just call when it latches. So then here, we'll grab this. I'm leaving the other code just in case I need to. Okay, don't know why I'd need to check if it was latched. But basically here we'll just say on latch question mark in using system. The lead node shot when you first fire the silk. Lets anyone know when it know who cares when it latches. Oh, and I guess I must have been thinking that at some point I would be shooting it against dynamic objects. What did I think I was gonna, it must have been for fighting or something. I must have thought like maybe they'd throw up a block and you'd be able to like hit it, which would be so cool. Which would be so cool, but not really useful right now, so we'll just get rid of that. And then we'll say dot invoke. Very cool. And no, I'm not gonna unsubscribe here. That doesn't make sense. Okay. So it's pretty much all that's gonna do. So then here, don't know why this is here, don't know why that's there. Sure. I don't know why web container is not a game object, I have to say. So let's go to where it is and let's make it a game object. And where else am I using this lead node? I guess a lot of places. Get component lead node. Oh. Lead node dot on latch add. Web latched. Okay, so basically you fire it off. You're going to fire it off, and then you're going to sorry. You're going to fire it off, then you're going to subscribe to it and say, like, hey, you're basically just saying, hey, let me know when you attach. And I think that's probably the simplest way to do that. And what's wrong with this? Okay, cool. And then let's take a look at this. That's probably the next thing that would make sense to take a look at. Let's get rid of all of this for now, since we're not using it. Okay. And how's it going, Thought? You got anything going on, or you just chilling, programming? Web latched. You know what, I actually like this idea of making it more functional. I'm gonna add to this. I'm gonna make this a game object, call it lead node, instantiate it. Then basically make a little function in here. That's just, what am I doing here? Oh, I see. It basically just passes in that lead node. Okay, very cool. Just chilling, creating a bunch of colliders for my hand, turning it into a physics hand. Tedious. Thought I'd tune in, not working today, so taking advantage of free time. Is there a reason that you're not using a mesh collider for the hand? instead of just creating like a aggregate collider from all the smaller ones, which is what it sounds like you're doing. Let's see, release the silk. I'm going to release silk. Oh. Oh yeah, I was looking at web latched. Also, what was I doing scrolling up and down? That's so... I should just be doing that. Okay, web latched. If shooting web... that's a good point because... And node equals lead node. Okay, I'm not going to get rid of this necessarily. And welcome to whoever just joined. Don't know if it's Tony or Era or somebody else, but if it's somebody new, welcome. I'm glad you're here. So we'll just making web shooting currently. So when the web latches, we do want to do a check, but we'll basically say if hand.state equals hand states. I guess we basically just need to check if it's still shooting a web. And then hey Nick, no worries, man. I mean, it just is what it is. You can bring the drama here. I don't care, whatever. I think maybe Thought would enjoy listening to the drama too, so it'd be like our own little reality show. But no, I mean, I know what you're going through is tough. I think everybody's experienced that in some way, and so I feel for you. But yeah, if you yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying it. If you have any questions about how I'm programming, really, I mean, I'm making good time on the game, so I can stop and explain some things. If you see anything that you think is confusing or you want to learn some programming in general, we can do that. So basically, I guess to get you started, the two things you would need to know are that computers are really good at storing information and using that information in math, essentially. So if I wanted to store information, I create a variable. So I'd say like int x equals 5. And the computer now remembers that x equals 5, essentially. And then I could say like int y equals x plus 7. And now when it comes to this line of code, it's going to say, okay, well, I know x is 5 because of this line up here. And they want me to add 7 to it. And then they want me to remember that in y. So now y would get you 12 because 5 plus 7 is 12. So that's what I'm talking about when I say that. And everything else is kind of just a branch off of that. So let's check it out. Okay, so right now we're dealing with the web latching. And so let's grab all of this. Let's bring it up here. Let's uncomment it. Let's format it. Okay, lead node latched. I don't think I care about that. Shooting web false. Don't care about that. Maybe I do, but we'll come back and do it later. Yeah, if you wanted to learn programming, which is a great skill because people think it's like, I don't know, people think it's a lot less creative than it actually is. Also Thought, yeah, I think you're going to want to do a mesh collider with the hand. That's going to solve your problem. Okay. And then if you're wondering how to like make that hand basically to do things via physics, with VR hands, it's a lot of joints. It's a lot of like fixed joints, stuff like that. Like I'm pretty sure, I guess I haven't really done it, but if I had a block that I wanted to pick up, I would, when I grabbed it, I would add a fixed joint to that block, to my hand. Like I would fix it to my hand, and that will make it go via physics instead. All right, set up joint from web to body, set up joint from lead to body. I don't think we need this web to body. I'm not even sure what that is. Set up joint from lead to body. Lead node dot position. So now we're just going to do node dot position. Distance from node dot position, web params body center. So this will be I guess let's say head. So get the distance. Get the distance from where it latched to my head. Lead to body. I don't know why I'm caching this value. Lead to body, web to body. Where else am I using this? Okay, fair enough. I am trying things now. Thanks for the tip. Much appreciated. Yeah, no problem, dude. For sure. I remember when I was making my first ever game in Unity, it was called like Bearded Man, and it was basically just a face with a beard on it. And I had a razor that you would just run along his face to shave it. And I was using a mesh collider for every single hair on his face. And I don't think, and they weren't static. It was just like a full-on dynamic mesh collider for this like really polygon rich hair that I put like 1 million of on his face. And I was like, man, this game just won't run at frame rate. I don't know why. It's just so ridiculous. Much appreciated. Okay. And yeah, Nick, a lot of games turns out to just be a lot of math, which is weird because they should teach you math that way because it's so much more exciting. Because once you're like, wait, I can make like a spider like using math, it suddenly starts to look a little bit cooler than just like adding numbers and putting them on a graph. Yeah, great game by the way, Mr. Bearded Man. Great game. I think I won some Game of the Year awards that year for that one. So it was really well received overall. But yeah, let's see. Okay, so what am I doing? Setting. Oh, and Nick, when there's 2 dashes here, it's the code. That's not code. That's just me writing something that that it doesn't like run or anything. That's just so that I know what I'm doing. Okay, so save the distance and then add a configurable joint to it and then set that joint up. Collider center. Is that a thing I can get? Player spy.rb. Can I get the collider? Let me go into player spy here. Let me put collider on here. Okay, first of all, this isn't a rigid body. This is going to be a capsule collider. And collider is going to equal get component capsule collider. Very cool. And then so now I'll be able to access that over here. Stop rope velocity and make it zip. Okay, and this was back when I really had these dreams back when I was making it before that I was, and it certainly is possible, but basically that you would shoot the silk and it would come out kind of like silly string. It would be like, so it would be doing that, and as soon as it hit something, it would stop, then tighten up. And so I think I pretty much got that done, but that's definitely not going to work on the quest. It's going to be too intensive for it. So I'm just leaving that out this time. But so it looks like I won't need this. Set up joint. I don't think I need this anymore. So I'll put it down in the graveyard with everything else. Set up joint. Okay, joint connected body equals get components Okay, so I don't know why I'm passing this in as a game object. When it clearly should be a rigid body. Its anchor is 0. Auto configure anchor false. Connected. I'm just going to trust what I did here. Okay. Then I did transform.root.game object. I'm just going to do player spy.rb. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is when that web latches, find the distance from you to the point where it latched, create a joint, and then set that joint up. So that should be cool. Okay, and then from there, let's step out for a second. And create a sphere. And this will be our lead node, and we're going to make it 0.2 by 0.2 by 0.2. Well, actually, you know what, realistically, 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. And lead node. Let's go ahead and set its set it equal to 60, I guess. That will just make it more accurate under the physics simulation. And then we'll basically want to, if we'll have a sphere collider, we're going to make a new layer for it, and we're going to call it lead node, I suppose. We're going to give it that. We're going to go into our physics settings. I'm going to take lead node, and it really only should interact with the buildings. And then can add a rigid body to it. And that rigid body will use gravity, it will interpolate, and it will be continuous. Not going to have any angular drag or any drag in general. And its mass, let's just call it 0.2. Okay, cool. So we've set this object up, and we're going to call it lead node. Put it in here. Now that I'm reading it up a bit, I'm wondering if using primitive colliders would be more efficient than mesh, seeing a lot of comments about performance hit of mesh colliders. Thoughts? Yeah, so I think with something like a hand, it's not going to be more efficient to have primitive colliders and aggregate them. I think that this argument only really matters if you're going to use a bunch of mesh colliders or you have some crazy physics, but you're just doing it for your hands on a modern system, so it's not going to have a problem. Like in this game currently, I'm using mesh colliders for every one of these buildings. Like these all have mesh colliders on them, and the game runs fine. You know, and there's like literally like 6,000 buildings in here. So I don't think you're going to have to worry about it. If you do it and you see a performance drop, then maybe, but I'd be surprised, I guess. I mean, I suppose yours is going to be a dynamic mesh collider, so maybe that's like way more difficult to solve, but probably not. Okay, so we now have this lead node. I'm going to want to put Silkswing on here. Give it the hand. Give it the hand. Okay, we're going to want to create a scriptable object. Silkswing. Web shoot parameters. Gonna want to make this public. Okay, cool, and it's super small game, so shouldn't be a problem then. Can always revert later if so. Awesome. Yeah, I 100% guarantee you're not gonna have problems with a mesh collider. I mean, truly, there's magic in creating games that aren't big enough to have to worry about like intense optimization. It was the worst experience of my life having to optimize something. It's so bad. It's so truly bad. Okay, let's see. Web shoot speed. Let's say you shoot it out at 40 meters per second. Okay. Although I'm sure there's some out there that would say optimization is fun, because you do have to get really creative with it. You know, sometimes, at least. Let me back out of this. Cool. What was I doing? Yes, I was just setting these. Okay, cool. Just passing in these values. Web material, web node. Okay, cool. For now, I'm not worried about that. Silkswing. Okay, cool. Why don't we just see if our hand will shoot out that little ball at this point? Did I miss it somewhere? Was it web node? Yeah, web node. Let's rename this lead node. Let's move it up here because I know that, oh. I'll just get rid of that. Lead node. Okay. Let's see what that gets us. Okay, another null reference. That's fine. We're just working through this here. Get rid of the old web. Can I just put that there, maybe? How long have I worked on this game for? Sorry if you said that a minute ago and I didn't see it. I have been working on this game for about 11 days. However, before that, I had probably worked on it for like 6 months. But that was back when I was way slower and way less experienced. I think I could probably make this game in a month. Pew, 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 pew. Pew 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 pew. Okay, and you see that it is working where... Kind of. Why is my character still moving? She's bouncing off the walls. Pew 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 pew. Be a baseball game. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, it takes a little bit to make something. It's not exactly a quick process. But yeah, I was working on it like it was my full-time job for about 6 months. But I'm pretty much over that now. I try to get things done in like a month if I can. Just because I realized for me, I really liked working on a bunch of different projects. It's not like my personal nightmare would probably be working on Anthem for like 8 years or Red Dead Redemption 2 for like 8 years. Working on the same game for 8 years, I think would really drive me insane. So being able to do these little small projects, especially since VR is such an unexplored space right now, there's so many low-hanging fruit ideas for like what would be really fun to do that nobody is doing because everybody wants to do a shooter. Sorry, Thought, if you wanted to make a shooter one day, but and so I try to do that. Okay, shoot Silk. Oh my gosh, I never put the lead node on it. So silly. I didn't give it its one job. All right, let's see what that gets us. Where do you see VR gaming in 10 years? I don't personally think VR itself will ever. I don't personally think VR itself will ever be good enough to be. What am I trying to say? To like totally overtake normal gaming. Right, I imagine that people will play normal games and they'll also sometimes play VR games. VR currently has some huge problems where basically you can't, the locomotion is terrible. Like you can't like get out and do things. So that can really only be fixed by something. I see VR as a stopgap between this and Neuralink, where Neuralink will let you like fully go into a game. I think that's when it'll really take off and traditional games will basically be useless. But for right now, I think it'll just be a better headset and we will also play normal games. That being said, I do think there will be a huge place for AR gaming, like because that doesn't have the locomotion problem. If I can see through the glasses and I can see the real world and still interact with games, that to me sounds really fun, like Pokemon Go, but in AR, where I can walk around the real world and catch Pokemon and stuff. But yeah, the locomotion problem for VR, I think, is pretty much insurmountable as far as I can see. And I think by the time we had the technology to possibly surmount it, you and I think alike, all good. Oh, okay, cool, on the shooter, yeah. And I think by the time we got to, yeah, I was just afraid that I insulted you. But I think once we get to, what was I gonna say? Once we get to a point where we can solve the locomotion problem mechanically, like with some really complex mechanical rig, we'll probably be close enough to Neuralink anyway that it won't matter. And if you don't know what Neuralink is, it's essentially a company that is making a computer chip you can put in your brain that will let you control computers with your brain. So instead of having to use a controller or a mouse and keyboard, you would just think it and it would happen. And so the progress on that is surprisingly good, actually. Like you can already type. You would definitely be able to control a robot arm. So, those games should be pretty sweet, obviously. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I put the lead note on it. Yeah, what do you think? What do you think, Monet? Because it's not like I know the future. I mean, that's just my guess. Okay, it looks like... Okay, so the ball is sticking. You can see it. Look at it. Yeah, that's kind of funny. I can climb up to it and touch it. No. No. Okay, so let's do something else real quick here. Definitely a good thought. Did you see Next Mind? You can play games with only your mind now. Getting creepy, lol. I think you're correct with regular gaming. Yes, it is. On Quest 2. Let me check this out. Let your mind take control. What a slogan. Alright, it's just a bunch of people putting it on. I want to see what they're doing with it. Yeah, so... Okay, so... With your brain, it's very hard to read what's happening from outside. That's why Neuralink is actually like putting a chip inside your brain. The one way that they found to do it really is that it turns out that if you look at something that's strobing at a certain frequency, your brain will match that frequency. So if you have like black and white and they're strobing at like 20 hertz a second or something like that, your brain will match it in some way. And that you're able to read externally. The problem is you need to be looking at something that is strobing. So I was curious if that's what they were doing, and you can see that it is what they're doing here. And so it's like, what, all my games are gonna have strobing elements in them? So if you look right here, his brain is strobing, and he's able to shoot that. Why is it like lagging out? His brain is strobing, this thing in the back is strobing, that thing's strobing. And so I guess their idea is that you could build it into... And if you look at this right here, this is strobing as well. So he looks at the color that's strobing, I believe. Yeah. So there's like patterns that will strobe, and that will activate something in your brain. But without that, this thing would basically not work at all, is the problem. So that's kind of a bummer. I'm personally pumped about Neuralink. And I don't want to put strobing elements in my game. But, I mean, they are kind of... It is interesting that they're making it look good. Like, it doesn't look terrible, actually. Yeah, it's weird. It was like one of the first things because I used to be interested in getting. I was considering working at a place like Neuralink, so I was doing some neuroscience research, and that was like one of the first things that came up when you start Googling brain-computer interfaces. Okay. So let us. So it's shooting the silk when your hand is idle. I think that what I need to do is set the script order. Because you're able to shoot a web while you're also grabbing a wall, and I think what I need to do is set... Oh my god, Oculus. Jesus. Silk swing. And then we'll also add climb. And maybe that will fix it, maybe it won't. But I think that what will happen is climb will subscribe first, this will subscribe second. By the time climb is finished doing what it's going to do, the hand is going to be set to climbing, and then it will no longer be idle, so it won't shoot. And that's what we want. We want your climbing to take priority over your web shooting. Oh man. Oh man. What's happening? Am I inside the building? Oh, I was. Okay. So there's my two webs. Oh yeah, it worked. Pew pew pew. Pew 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 pew. Pew 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 pew. Wait, am I attached to something? No. Okay. Okay, very cool. So couple things. One, so that's good. That's a win, first of all. That it's not gonna shoot the web. What was I thinking here? Let me go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be back in like 40 seconds. It's gonna help me think anyway. I can't think, and I can't think under these conditions. Okay, very cool. So I'm shooting. Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was. I wanted to fix this. It's clearly not shooting correctly. Okay, velocity. Is the player's velocity. And then add to that transformed up forward. Because it's when I'm falling and I shoot, it like shoots downwards, which doesn't make any sense. I can't imagine it's a drag issue, because this does have some drag. For now, we can put some drag on this as well. So maybe like the drag at those speeds becomes so important that that thing just keeps falling. So we can do that for a second, and then it looks good to me, I have to say. I'm wondering if the world velocity is wrong for some reason. Let me do this. Let's just break it up into parts. Okay, so it's that first part that's wrong. And is it the player velocity or the hand velocity? Oh my gosh. I see what's wrong. Okay, so basically I was using the world velocity of the hand, so it was doubling down on the player velocity and then the hand's velocity. What I needed was not the local velocity of the hand necessarily, because that would still be wrong. What I needed was the local velocity of the hand, but in world direction. So I'd grab its parent and use transform direction on it, which will basically take it from its local space into world space, and then I give it its velocity local. So that should work. Let's test it out though. Just recently learned how to use transform direction, and it's already bearing fruit for me. It was very confusing for me before, and I don't really know why it was. So it makes a lot of sense to me now. Perfect. The orb is in my hands. Look, it's kind of like, I'm like, yeah, wee. It's like I'm throwing a fastball. I was thinking about, oh shit, maybe I'll make rock skipping next. I wanted to make a rock skipping game. I thought that would be pretty fun. Okay, and then let me turn this way. Okay, cool. So this is now exactly correct. Yeah, yeah. Oi, oi. Put your dominant hand up high. Put your dominant hand to the sky. Yeah, yeah. Oi, oi. Spinning up her bluff. Yeah, yeah. Oi, oi. And let's test it fully now. Put your dominant hand to the sky. Pew, 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 pew. Yeah, yeah. Oi, oi. Put your dominant hand up high. Pew. So I'm gonna need to shoot these balls way faster. Which I can change using my scriptable object. Thinking like 100 meters a second. Ooh, that's a fast shot right there. It's a professional baseball shot. Oh, she's a fun. Oh my gosh. Thought you have no idea how freaking stressful it is when you jump off the audio design is so good, it like really stresses you out when you start getting speed, because I was shooting my webs thinking like for some reason just hoping that they would latch so that I wouldn't hit the ground, and of course that I haven't coded that yet, so those just the leads for the webs. Yeah, they're actually called lead nodes. But yeah, so I just made the leads, Jake, and now I'm gonna yeah, so you'll be like and it'll latch and then you'll swing. Yeah, it should be cool. Yeah, yeah. Oi, oi. Put your dominant hand up high. Alright, now let's see if we can figure out why. I feel particularly in tune with the cosmos. I feel in tune with you tonight. Alright, this is annoying me as well. Let's copy it. Let's go down here into the graveyard. Let's paste it. Let's get rid of this. Keep the old stuff. Graveyard that. Oi, oi. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited for people to play this game. If I can get it to be performant. I was playing earlier and I was getting some frame rate. Hitches, unfortunately. One of those was solved by just getting rid of the complex material on the building. And the other, I don't know what the other is, to be honest. So I'll have to do some profiling and figure it out. But if the Quest 2 is having problems, the Quest is for sure going to have problems. And my brother has a Quest, otherwise I'd just say F the Quest. Oh, my dad has a Quest too. Alright. Oh, so does my mom. Everybody like instantly went and got quests as soon as they started making games for it. It was really nice, actually. Okay. Okay, I don't think I need climb. To the sky. Let me go into hand spy. I guess I won't do it yet. Never mind. Web material. Okay, I see why I probably had that web container. Okay, I'm currently using the web container, so I'll keep it. Previous node, web nodes, shooting web, web lead node latched. So many variables. Blah, blah. I don't even, like, I had a string. Where was I even using this? Just for that enumerator. Okay, cool. So okay, so when it latches, so now I'm wondering how I clear an action. Okay, so I'll just clear it here. Basically, as soon as it says it latched for the first time, it's going to remove all the subscribers so that nobody will ever hear it again. And that's fine with me. Generally, you'd want to unsubscribe in the class that you subscribed with, but I think that's probably fine. Okay. Okay, it looks like the distance being passed in was... Alright, let's just see where this gets us. Alright, I shot that. Let me go into my virtual desktop. Web left. Lead node. It has 2 fixed joints on it. But why? And then my XR rig. Interesting. Where would that second fixed joint have come from? Okay, so first of all, basically this must be calling twice. But why? It should really only enter at once. That's fine, I mean. Because we can just do something like this. I don't know why it collided twice. It should immediately stick to the wall and be done, but it's not really that big of a deal. And then second of all, oh, you know what? I don't think I ever set it to shooting web, did I? So we need 2 events here. We need another one, public action on web shoots. And we'll do on web shoots. If anybody cares, we will invoke that. Then in hand state, we'll basically have to do all this. Silk swing. Let me go ahead and name this on silk shoots and on silk latched. We'll put that there. And we'll change this to left. And we'll put that there. We'll put that there. We'll grab the next 4 instances of a plus and make it a minus, and now that's all good to go. They've shot a silk thread. Their silk thread has latched. Man, my comment section is starting to look like a real comment section around here. I got people in here, they're writing stuff. Pretty sweet. Okay. Shooting web equals true. Set the state. Swinging equals true. Set the state. And we should probably do shooting equals false. If you're grabbing the wall, it's grabbing. And then there's just kind of an order of precedence here. Where basically it's going to be set to idle. If you're grabbing the wall, then you are grabbing the wall. And you're grabbing the wall. If, I guess I don't know which one's more important right now, but I'm pretty sure you can't grab the wall and shoot at the same time, so I'm not sure it really matters. So we'll do I don't think there's any way that shooting web or that swinging would get unset right now because we don't have that. But maybe I could do that real quick. Silk, swing, release silk. And then I guess I would call it like on silk abandoned. That poor silk. On silk abandoned invoke. Okay, cool. Hand state. And then we're gonna need to do another one up here. Yeah. Okay, cool. And this will basically set swinging equals false and shooting web equals false, because I don't know which one they were currently doing. And then we'll set the state. Okay, very cool. So let's see what that gets us. How was work, Jake? Did you have fun? Alright, so first of all... Oh. I'm falling. Oh. Something terrible is happening every time I... Yeah, that's pretty much what I hear. Maybe you should just make games instead. I think it's time you quit, Jake, and live the life on the road. You're so whimsical, you know, you could get a van and live in it like a bum. What is happening here? Yeah, I think you should, Jake. I think it would really suit you. So whimsical. So it's instantly set to swinging. Like, why would it instantly be set to swinging? Oh, yeah, Jake, you got company in the van. Thought is thinking about it as well. The other day, Jake was telling me that I should go live in a van, and I was like, I don't want to go live in a van. And he's like, but I just think that you should live in a van. And I'm like, Jake, why are you trying to force me to live in this van? And so now I'm just making fun of him for it. Yeah, you can make a little computer science van and just drive around and do freelance work. You just like have Starlink on the top of your hood, and you can just drive around, park, do work. I don't have a van vibe. I have a sit in my room vibe. All right, what is happening here? If your hand is idle, shoot. Let me see if I can figure out where this is coming from. Okay, let's get rid of this for now. No, I mean, that could be pretty sick to like have a pretty pimped out van and you just do freelance computer science work using Starlink, and you can just literally go wherever you want. You could drive out to like Yo, you could drive out to Yosemite and still just be doing freelance work. It'd be sick. Where's the ball? Oh, is it? Is that how fast the ball is now? Did I accidentally set the ball to like some insane speed? How cool is that? Oh, oh, I'm stuck to the wall. Hey, look, no hands. It's on me. Uh-oh, I'm now trapped to the wall and I can't get off of it. Oh god. Oh god, let me out of here. Okay, interesting. Uh-oh. Alright, I need to stop. That's gonna make me sick. Oh man, that would be crazy, dude. Cause you could, yeah, cause you make enough money on computer science that you could just keep upgrading your life. Like you just you start with a crappy van, and then you get like a trailer, or I don't know, whatever comes after that, like a little pop up, and then suddenly you have an RV. Cause how much is an RV even? They're probably like what 100K. Go to Amazon. RV. Guess you can't buy RVs on Amazon. How do you buy an RV? Oh yeah, I want a Class A diesel. Oh yeah, that'd be sick. Do you live in Canada, I thought? Why is it? Oh wow, holy crap. This one's as expensive as a house. For some reason, this one's 100K less. It's an interesting job selling RVs. Okay, very cool. I don't know that I've ever been to the east coast of Canada. I've been over in Vancouver, but never the east coast. Seems like a nice place. Cold, I guess. Cold. 70K? Yeah, that's like 1 year salary. You save up, you buy a sick. Actually, plus you don't even have to wait. I mean, because the monthly rate is not going to be more. It's not, the monthly rate is not going to be more than you can make as a computer scientist. So you don't even have to wait. You can just start with an RV. Interesting. I'm a little confused. I don't think the ball was so fast that I shouldn't be able to see it. Why was I not able to see it? Yeah, yeah. Okay, that was pretty stressful. Hopefully I never do that again. Let's put this in the graveyard as well. Graveyard. I'll just get rid of all this. Okay. This isn't really maintenance. Let me move it down here. Let me do this. Okay, let's see what this gets us. So I don't really know what it was attaching us to before. Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. I was using the wrong variable. Alright, come on. What is going on right now? Okay, it looks like it added like 16 configurable joints to it. Why is it pulling? Alright, let's do this again. Every time I do it, it makes me uncomfortable, so... It's like pulling me to some world position that's really far away and stressing me out. Alright, let me see. I truly don't see. It must subscribe to it, like, no, I mean, what the heck is happening? Alright, let's just see. One of these is calling a bunch of times, and I need to know which one it is. Wow. The plot thickens on this one. It only debugged here, which is where you shoot. Which means it's saying that it never latched, even though I get latched to one. And even though a configurable joint is added to that node. And it's saying that this was never called. Okay, so literally the only place in the game where a configurable joint is called, where adding a configurable joint happens. And it's saying that that never happened, but that somehow there's like 20 configurable joints on that object. Weird. Okay, interesting. How do I quickly remove all of these? Okay, so that would explain it. Then I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this. Call it OG, just in case this happens again. And then when I instantiate, I'm not going to pass in game object, I'm just going to pass in lead node. But now I'm a little confused. The reason I passed in its game object was because I thought that it would lead to that behavior if I didn't. Maybe I confused the two. There's a difference between instantiating a prefab and an instance of a prefab. I must have switched them around. Yeah. Oi. Oh. I can't get off this freaking wall. Oh. Okay, well, I am hanging, I guess, from that rope. Yeah, look at me. Whoop. Okay, it is slapping me off the wall, though, for some reason. It's like pulling me towards it. Super swingy webby thing. Whee! Yeah! Oh. Yeah, I'm just like the Silkworm. Oh, dang it. Pew, pew, pew. And okay, so I forgot why this game took me 6 months to make. It takes so long to make because it's so much fun that you can't stop playing it once you get going. At least for me. Okay, cool. Let me look at my shooting, swinging, idle. Left grabbing wall, shooting web, swinging. Shooting web, swinging. Okay, cool. So it looks like all the states are working out nicely. Yeah, I think it is a good sign. Yeah, when you can't stop playing your own game, that's, they say make games for yourself, and that's pretty much exactly what I'm doing here. Alright, Thought, I'll see you later. I mean, it's 5 o'clock anyway, so I was gonna hop off soon. But thank you for joining, as always. I appreciate your presence. Let's, okay, let's see. I feel particularly in tune with the cosmos. Jake, what I really want to do is make it so that if you're currently swinging, if you release the grip a little bit, it elongates your... I want it to elongate the web. That way you can like shoot it, be hanging, and then let it slide down. To be like, and then you make out with Mary Jane. You're like, I love you, Mary Jane. Okay. Let's see. I feel particularly... Alright, so what were the problems? A... It pulls you towards it. Was that the only problem? Yeah, yeah, oi, oi. Put your dominant hand up high. Put your dominant hand to the sky. I'm trying to remember. Oh my goodness, I must be hungry or something. I can't remember what it was I was doing. There was the clear problem. I think I played it too long. I forgot what the actual problem was. Yes, it was pulling me towards it, but I don't think that was it. Huh, I don't know. Alright, whatever. I guess we'll call it there then. Jake, if you want to play some Overwatch, I'm down. Probably not right now. I gotta eat and make some pasta and stuff, but definitely sometime tonight. I think that would be fun. But thank you to everybody who joined. I think it's coming together pretty nicely, and I'm very excited for you guys to play it. Have a good day.